All right, so you're just in time for another eBay unboxing. What the hell did I get today? All right, so this is something I saw on eBay. I had to buy it now. It was listed maybe like within an hour of the listing, I noticed it. And the seller had a price of $125. And I contacted her and I asked her. She wasn't really an expert in these type of things. Now, I was only going by pictures, so I don't know if this is any good, if you know what I mean. And I offered her $75, and she really accepted quickly, which I was like really astonished. And I generally won't even pay $75 for these type of items. I always actually try to get them for $25 or less. In the worst case scenario, $40 or less, but they're worth a heck of a lot more. But it's because I don't like paying retail. And I look for sleepers, things that sellers don't know much about, and try to snag them up for cheap. Oh, wow, look at this. We have a unicorn. A unicorn. Very, very pretty. And I'm going to read the private note. Oh, no, there is no private note on it. But the seller, wow. Okay, this is a good example of a good eBay seller. A seller who really cares about the presentation of their item. And they, you know what I mean? They make a big deal out of it. And that actually makes you feel more happier about your purchase. It's in the presentation, they say. And so we got a little Christmas card inside of there. Very, very nice. And I'm not going to read it to you crack maniacs out there because it might have my address in there. And you might show up at my front door. I'm going to read it. Thank you for your purchase. I hope you like your... Okay. And let's check out what it actually is. And you're probably by now saying, just get the damn thing open already and shut the hell up. You talk too much. You have verbal diarrhea. Yes, I have verbal diarrhea. But, okay. So, please, God, please... let it be worth $75 because sometimes these things can be shiz, if you know what I mean. Just by going on a seller who's inexperienced and doesn't give it a good description and doesn't put good pictures in it could sometimes lead you to catastrophe. It's happened to me before. I've gotten burned where something I thought was more valuable, but the seller did a shitty description and shitty pictures, ended up turning out to be shiz, and I wasted money. And hopefully I didn't waste, well, my husband's money, 75 of his doll hairs because, well, he's bald. Now I know why he's bald. Imagine if you paid with doll hairs or man hairs. That's why men go bald. That's actually the real reason why men go bald, because their wives spend their money and use each strand of hair as collateral. All right. Oh, wow. She even put like a cotton pad over it. More cotton. Wow, I'm cotton picking. And all right, I'm afraid. I'm sort of I'm very afraid. It's actually quite large. And from what you see from the back, you could tell it is a pendant, convertible pendant, one that actually doubles as a pendant and a brooch. Let's look at the age before we flip it over. So you can generally tell from the way it's made. Okay, this is probably 1870s to about 1905. I'm going to give it around there. I'm not an expert, but generally a C clasp actually tells the story that this is at least from the Victorian era. So when I say Victorian era, I'm talking about like the 1850s, 60s, all the way to the time Queen Victoria died. What was that? Around 1900. So right around there. All right. All right. Shut up. Shut up and just show these people the damn thing. Oh, I'm afraid to look. We'll give you a little peek. Oh, it's exquisitely beautiful. All right, so I am like over the moon with this. This was like the purchase of the century. And so let's get in better lighting and check this out because I am like in a total eclipse of the sun blocking. I'm actually blocking the sun right now. Well, the camera with my fat body. All right, hold on. Okay, just by looking at this and the size, this is generally telling me this is probably around the 1870s. Yeah, probably around the 1870s when things got opulent and large and oversized to about approximately the 1880s. Oh my God, this damn glare. And I want to show you a close-up. Now, this was hand painted. And you might say, well, who the hell is that? Well, I don't know. Do you know? Write in the comments below. I believe this is actually like Marie Antoinette, Lady Pompadour. Who are the other royal noble people of the French court? I'm not sure. Lady Devonshire. Yeah, one of those ladies. And so these miniature porcelain hand-painted plaques or little renditions that you see sometimes in frames and so on are highly, highly collected. Now, of course, the most valuable ones are from the 1700s, and they were generally portraits of real people, like regular everyday people. Well, mostly wealthy people, because they couldn't afford, the middle class or the lower middle class couldn't afford specific artists to come to their house and take painting, well, not take pictures, but make or paint pictures of them. So it was really much for the upper class people of the day, politicians, and all sorts of rich people. But with the onset of the invention of the camera, I believe, which was in 1840, this started to wane out of popularity. And after that, then we would actually see more portraits of famous people back in the day, such as people that were idolized. We have nobility, like Napoleon, Josephine Bonaparte, Napoleon's wife, Lady Pompadour, and all the French courtesans and what have you. And so this, I believe, is French. It's a very, very, very well painted. You could see this on a nice thick porcelain disc. Now, I don't know, this could possibly be 9K or 10K gold. It is unmarked. A lot of the ones with the lower gold content were unmarked. And so I'm going to do a quick gold test. We'll come back. But what is the value on something like this? Now, something this size, this big, and this really like well painted and beautiful. Wow, look at that. That's great. I wouldn't sell this for less than $500 to, believe it or not, $600. Now you might say, well, it's going to actually not sell. It's going to sit around. Well, so what? Because I wouldn't let anyone get this for less than $500 to $600. Oh yeah, all day long. It would sit in my Etsy shop for probably 2 or 3 years, but I wouldn't give a shiz because I would not part with something this beautiful. Now I paid $75. I think I did phenomenal. This was a great buy. Let's do the gold test and see. It could just be brass. Now, if it's gold, even a low quality gold, like 9K or 10K, it's actually worth even more. Okay, so you might say, well, how do you do that? How do you test for gold? So you can get this on Amazon. You can get a stone and you can get acid. And so I have 9K, 10K, 14K, 18K, and silver testing and palladium testing. We're going to start with the lowest. That's what you generally do, which is 9K. So I hate doing this. Oh, God, I hate scratching the metal onto the stone. You wear away the metal a little bit doing that, and it's not, like, really optimal. But I'm going to go ahead and just give it a scratch. And what will happen is, let me just go ahead. I'm going to try to give it a thick scratch. What'll happen is that actually looks like gold to me. I could be wrong. It could be brass. But, or gold plated. What generally will happen is the minute you put the drop of acid on it, if it's not gold, it'll disappear. If it is, and by the way, wear lunch lady gloves with this, because if you don't, it will actually burn your skin. And it smells really awful. So if it is gold, or at least 9K, it'll stay this color. This camera sucks. It does not focus. All right, so let's get in there. All right. And now for the moment of truth. And you try to put half a drop if you can. Usually I overdo it. So if this disappears, oh, my camera is not focusing, of course. Usually it'll generally happen within seconds. If it disappears, then it's not gold. So far, so good. It looks like we're testing at 9K. Yeah, without a doubt, this looks like it's 9K. All right, let's go up one. So now we're going to go with our 10K testing kit. We're going to do another scratch, which I hate doing. And, all right, come on, focus, damn camera. What a piece of shit. Okay, here we go. All right, let's go ahead and do this again. And again, I do not like doing this at all. And sometimes these brooches are made, the front parts are made of gold and the back is brass. So we're going to go ahead and use it from the front. I noticed that this looks a little bit of a different color than on the left. Do you notice that? Well, it's really wild how they used to do this. How they used to make part of the brooch. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and give it a good scratch. Part of the brooch in many different golds. This looks like a little bit of a different color gold, which is crazy. Again, focus camera. There we go. So we might have a little bit of a different reaction this time. with the 10K. And let's see what happens. It is not disappearing. And you can see here, it has not disappeared. So far it looks like we have at least a minimum of 9K. Wow. Okay, why wasn't this marked? A lot of Victorian pieces weren't marked with the gold content. There wasn't laws like we have today. Although in some countries they were more stricter, like England was very strict. So far it looks like we have at least 9K, and it's slightly dissolving at the 10K mark. So I'm going to go with we have 9K. That is actually, well, look, our strip of gold is still there on the right with the 10K. So let's try to get a close-up if we can. And of course, my camera is absolute shiz. And it's still there. It has not dissolved. So I'm going to go with, this is a strong 9K to 10K. A strong 9K to 10K. We got real gold, baby. We got real gold at $75 hairs. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, we are totally 15 minutes into this thing, and that gold is still there. This is our 9K on the right and our 10K. You can see the 10K is actually still there. It has not disappeared. Now, I did a deeper scratch on the one on the right here, the 9K, than the one on the left. I could go up and go to 14K, but I don't feel like it. I'm too lazy. But it's amazing that we actually scored some real gold. Trying to find values for these is very hard. It's very subjective. What one person may not pay for it, another one will. And here's an unsold example on eBay. Not as good as mine. Not even made with real precious metal. $2.95. And do they sell for these prices? Yes, I can assure you. And I'm doing a Google search, and I think I just found my father. Yes, actually, Georgian version of my father. This is absolutely insane, and I need to buy this. Does anyone have 400? Oh no, it's sold. It's sold for $480, and it's a brooch. Well, damn it. I want this brooch so bad. We want to see why? Watch this. Yes, this is actually my father. My father even wears the part down the same side of his head. Well, this is him many years ago. But my God, this is like doppelganger. My dad's doppelganger. I swear to God. Oh no, I really want this now. I really want this. Actually, how big was this thing that sold for $480? It's, oh God, centimeters? I don't do centimeters. Okay, and it turns out it's smaller. Okay, so what do these things sell for? So you can see they do sell. And this is a teeny tiny one. Not a very good one, actually. 10 karat gold. It sold for around $3.95. We got the line through it. And another one sold for $3.99. But this one isn't that good. It's 10K with little teeny tiny garnets. This one about a quarter or half the size of mine. And some of them not even painted very well. $400. This one has just got a silver frame. And there's my dad. Yeah, he sold for $480. And oh, I'm like envious of that damn person that got my dad. What bastards. And here's another one that sold for $588. And what the hell is this thing? Well, why did it sell for that price? And I'll show you why. Because the metal scrappers out there. The metal scrappers, well, why can't I find the damn listing? Oh, Lord. Okay, here we go. The metal scrappers, actually, yeah, 24 bids because it's 18K. 18K, and let's see the original listing. You'll see how ugly this thing is. And yeah, that's actually the worst portrait I've ever seen. So basically the metal scrappers go on eBay and buy things that are gold. They 86 in New York terms, that means they get rid of. They 86 the picture out of the frame, and boom, they take this to a scrapper. And it's probably worth way more than $588 in gold value. We got gold and enamel. Yep, 18K. And we got another miniature brooch that sold, a gold one, 10K, 750 doll hairs. It's just two children playing on a porcelain disc, and it's a little miniature portrait. Yep, I tell you, they sold for this price. And so I spent 15 friggin' aggravating minutes adding a new loop onto the original loop to actually add a snake chain to this. By the way, here's my Lady Devonshire, who I got for $5.95. And she turned out to be really real gold with ivory with a glass panel. Yep, that was a great buy. And yet this one at $75 here is not bad. What value would I put on it? I said earlier, I gave you some numbers. Honest to God, if you want to sell something like this quick, you'd sell it for like 250, 300. But in my, because I don't like to part with anything. And there's an ass for every seat. Trust me. There is an absolute ass for every seat. Somebody will buy. It might take 3 or 4 years at the price you want to put it at. But I wouldn't let this go for less than $600 to $695. Why? Well, we got the 910K gold, enormous. By the way, look at this enormous size. And the fact that this is a very, very well-painted portrait. This is not your average bear. And when I say that, you can see some of the portraits I just showed you that you couldn't even tell that those were human beings, except for my father. A Georgian version of my father was actually painted very well. But there you go. This is like a French royal lady, like a Madame Pompadour, Marie Antoinette, Lady Devonshire, that type of French royalty. Louis the 16th's sister, probably Elizabeth of France. I have no clue who this is, but it's one of those ladies. And yeah, even Lady Devonshire has her value. And again, I only paid $5.95 for it. So what does Dr. Laurie say? What would Dr. Laurie say, since I only paid $5.95 for this Victorian brooch that's actually really gold, hand painted, not transferware, on ivory wafer. So since I paid $5.95 for it, Dr. Laurie would say, well, its value is $5.95. Wrong. Remember, there's an ass for every seat in this world. Antiques are pretty much subjective. You put a price on it. If somebody has deep enough pocketbooks and they want it bad enough, they'll pay the price for it. If you want to flip it really quick, they'll pay the price for it. So there you go. That's my 2 cents. Thanks for watching. See you guys all soon, and so long.